What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video because Liverpool have started talks with Real Madrid for the signing of Rodrygo, the brilliant left winger from Brazil. Could be the long-term replacement of Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz already told Liverpool that he wants to leave and he wants to go to Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich are in talks with Liverpool for the transfer of Luis Diaz. Liverpool are also in deep conversations with Frankfurt over the transfer of Ekitike, and all of that will be revealed. All the latest news and reports will be revealed in this transfer video. But first I want to say that I dedicate this video to the memory of Diogo Jota, Liverpool's forever number 20, and Liverpool also commemorated on their page. When you see the men's team listed, you have goalkeeper, midfielders, strikers, players on loan, and then there is a section called Forever, and Diogo Jota's profile is on there under the section of Forever, and I love that. That's such a classy touch, and Diogo Jota, you will never be forgotten. Forever Liverpool's number 6. And now let's get on with the video. So Liverpool are again ramping up their plans to boost their squad and bolster their squad. Liverpool already had the best transfer window, I think, in the Premier League, signing Florian Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong, Mamardashvili. It's a 7 or 8 out of 10 transfer window, probably an 8 out of 10. But now it looks like Rodrygo is at the perfect age. He's 24 years old. And he would cost a lot of money, but most of that will be covered by the Luis Diaz sale to Bayern Munich, because Liverpool are looking to get 60, 65, maybe even 70 million pounds from the sale of Luis Diaz, and we could instantly reinvest that into Rodrygo, who is exactly the type of player that Arne Slot would love to have, and I think he would be a fantastic addition. And he can also play as a false 9 instead of Ekitike or Florian Wirtz. And even though Rodrygo made 30 appearances so far in La Liga this season, he just played 63% of the possible minutes, so he wants more playing time. He still scored 13 goals and got 10 assists across all competitions, and his frustration definitely peaked when Rodrygo wasn't even substituted on when Real Madrid lost 4-3 to Barcelona in the El Clasico. And also it's a clear indication that Rodrygo is not in Xabi Alonso's plans, is that he didn't start all but one game at the Club World Cup, and that was in the group stages. Every other game he was a substitute, so he is not going to be a regular starter for Real Madrid. And I think that's a clear indication that Real Madrid wants to sell him so they can fund more transfers coming in. But not just Liverpool, but Arsenal are also very interested in the transfer of Rodrygo. That's why I think selling Luis Diaz quickly would help this deal move forward, because if Liverpool know that Diaz is gone and we know how much money we got from him from that transfer, then Liverpool could really go all in for Rodrygo. At the moment Liverpool are occupied with the potential transfer of Ekitike. We are in deep conversations with Frankfurt, but we are also preparing to sit down with Real Madrid for serious talks, and Liverpool are looking to go hard in their efforts to sign Rodrygo when Luis Diaz is sold, because first Liverpool need to sell some players, of course, if we want to make any more big money transfers. Of course, Real Madrid can ask for a pretty big transfer fee because they are under no pressure to sell Rodrygo. He still has many years left on his contract, so Liverpool won't find it easy to negotiate the deal. But after the Luis Diaz transfer gets done, then hopefully Liverpool can get this transfer sorted. The problem is that Rodrygo could cost as much as 70, 75, maybe even 80 million pounds. And yes, he's probably worth that. Liverpool need to be careful with their finances. But if Liverpool sell Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott, we could easily collect 150 million out of those 3 players. Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz would go for 100, 110 million pounds combined, and Harvey Elliott for another 40 million, hopefully. And ESPN Brazil backed up reports from the Spanish publication AS that Liverpool have started preliminary discussions with Real Madrid over the sale of Rodrygo. And can you imagine a front line of Rodrygo, Ekitike and Mo Salah? That is mouth-watering. That is a mouth-watering prospect. But of course, it begs the question: how much will that front front line gel in the first few weeks of the season, because Liverpool have a pretty tough schedule in the first 6 games. We have 3 or 4 very tough fixtures. So Liverpool need to get these transfers in as early as possible. We head out to Asia. Liverpool head out to Asia for pre-season. So Liverpool need to get these transfers done. Especially the Ekitike one. I think it's crucial to get that done early, so Ekitike can have an almost a full pre-season with Liverpool, because that would definitely help him get accustomed to the playing style. And yes, a lot of Liverpool fans, including myself, don't really like Real Madrid, but sometimes we have to deal with them because they have some players like Rodrygo who will be welcome at Liverpool. And what I like about Rodrygo is that he can play left wing, right wing, even through the middle, and he also scored 68 goals and got 51 assists in 270 games for Real Madrid since arriving in 2019. So at just 24 years old, he already played 270 games for Real Madrid. That's averaging a goal or an assist every 135 minutes. So a similar rate to Gakpo and Luis Diaz, but he is also a live wire, very exciting flair player. And according to this Spanish report, Liverpool will do everything in their power to sign Rodrygo. Liverpool are ready to dispatch representatives to start these discussions with Real Madrid, and their asking price is around 100 million euros, which I think is too much. That's like 80 million pounds. I don't think he's worth that much. Hopefully we can negotiate that down to something around 70-75 million pounds. But Ben Jacobs also said that Anthony Gordon is still a firm target for Liverpool. I'm not sure how much business Newcastle want to do with Liverpool after our Hugo Ekitike chase, but Ben Jacobs said there may be a chance, if the left side is being strengthened, that Liverpool will revisit maybe the transfer of Anthony Gordon. Rodrygo, it is not that I'm not getting an acknowledgement of appreciation from Liverpool, because I am. So Ben Jacobs actually recognizes that Liverpool have a lot of appreciation for Rodrygo, but that's a very difficult transfer to pull off, especially because Arsenal also want him. But it's just that idea that they are in Madrid or negotiating or ready to bid. That feels a little bit premature. With Anthony Gordon, it is more than that. 12 months ago, Liverpool already had a deal in place to be done for Anthony Gordon with Newcastle. Had Newcastle not sold Elliot Anderson to Nottingham Forest and Yakuba Minte to Brighton, then Newcastle would have been in a lot of trouble when it comes to PSR rules, and Gordon would have definitely got them over the line by selling Gordon, because it was verbally lined up for, I think, about 75 million. Joe Gomez was going to Newcastle as well. But actually I'm happy that Liverpool didn't pull the trigger on that, because in the end we went on to win the Premier League title with Luis Diaz, and now it looks like we keep Joe Gomez around, who is one of my favorite players, and he's also the longest serving player at Liverpool. And suddenly Newcastle were able to pivot, because they were reluctant sellers. They didn't really want to sell Anthony Gordon, and they found the money another way. Given that was only 12 months ago, don't just think about Liverpool being interested in Rodrygo. If Diaz leaves, there may well be a possibility that a revisited approach for Anthony Gordon is made by Liverpool. And according to Ben Jacobs, Liverpool still have a good relationship with Newcastle. He said Liverpool have a good relationship, a really good relationship with Newcastle, make no mistake, regardless of what is said in public. To suggest Liverpool have somehow crossed the line in daring to be ambitious and sign a world-class player like us and Ishak. Newcastle understand that. Richard Hughes and Eddie Howe, by the way, have a long-standing friendship and relationship. Liverpool wouldn't have a problem negotiating with Newcastle for the transfer of Anthony Gordon, but let's see what the future holds. I would prefer Rodrygo, if I'm honest, but it all depends on the price. If Anthony Gordon costs a similar amount to Rodrygo, then Rodrygo is the much better buy, much better value for money transfer, in my opinion. Of course, Rodrygo is not desperate to leave Real Madrid, but he wants to play. At this stage of his career, it's not good for him to sit on the bench. He's set for crunch talks with Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid over his role in the team. And his entourage, Rodrygo's agent and representatives, are exploring his departure and exploring what kind of clubs are interested in him, just in case. And also there is an argument to be made that Liverpool first should sign Hugo Ekitike and then sell Darwin Nunez, and maybe first we should sign Rodrygo and then sell Luis Diaz. But football is not an ideal world. Of course, that would be the priority, and I think we will be signing Hugo Ekitike before we are selling Darwin Nunez, but I'm not sure that can happen with Luis Diaz. Of course, Liverpool know this, that would be an ideal scenario, so we are trying everything to make these transfers happen. There is not a lot of room for mistakes, and we need to really get every big transfer right. With the Darwin Nunez, we didn't really get it right. We took a big gamble on him. It didn't pay off, so now we are selling him for a little bit of a loss, but overall he still helped Liverpool win many trophies and titles, so I don't think you can say that Darwin Nunez was an utter, complete failure at Liverpool. He just had one bad season, one mediocre season in his first season, and one good season in his second season. And Florian Plettenberg is reporting that Liverpool and Frankfurt are in contact today for Hugo Ekitike. The contacts are very good, it's very positive. So he said, I can really imagine an agreement in the next couple of days, as Frankfurt are interested in a quick solution. They don't want to drag this out for weeks. Plettenberg is convinced that Liverpool will finalize the deal for Hugo Ekitike, maybe even over the weekend. So let's wait and see. So far, until the deal is done, Ekitike will be training in Frankfurt, and he is also potentially could play in a preseason friendly against a smaller team from Frankfurt, from the lower divisions. Hopefully he is not getting injured. But I think, judging by how inflated the transfer market is, I mean, Brian Mbeumo is going to Man United for £71 million from Brentford. That's a crazy amount of money. And yes, Mbeumo is a good player, but if he's worth 71 million, then Ekitike is also worth 75 million, and also Mbeumo is 3 years older. But Liverpool have to be quick with the Rodrygo stuff, because Arsenal are also preparing to submit a bid for Rodrygo. That is rumored to be 80 million euros. Liverpool are going to bid pretty much the same, and Real Madrid's asking price is 100 million. But Liverpool need to act quickly, because I don't want Arsenal to get Rodrygo as well. Martinelli and Rodrygo, two Brazilian left wingers, that would be pretty special, pretty epic for Arsenal. And maybe Martinelli goes after Rodrygo arrives. I'm not sure, but let's wait and see what happens with this transfer. Let me know what you think about these latest transfer news updates in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.